This is the Negro Ninja, and today I'm gonna tell y'all two stories that pretty much illustrates how these hoes are basically false prophets. Okay, now I've been sitting on this first story for about 4 days. I first started going on Omegle, all right, a few days ago, and Omegle's weird. If you get on there and you don't put in tags, you're gonna run into some stupid shit. Okay, so I got hip to it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start putting in tags, okay, to where I talk to chicks, okay. And of course, you're still gonna be finding a lot of dudes to talk to, but at least you bypass all the dicks, okay, which is kind of ironic because when you're trying to find hoes, you're dealing with a lot of dicks, going through a lot of dicks to get through. I'm like, watch out, up, up. Oh, I finally found a bitch to talk to. Now they'll skip you, okay, especially when they look decent. So you don't want nothing to do with niggas. Okay, bitches don't want shit to do with niggas, even though they do. Okay, because I was talking to a dyke last night, and I was like, "What's your experience with these hoes on here?" She said they just want to talk to guys. Okay, so they bullshitting her, they bullshitting you, and they want to talk to you. Okay, it's a mind fuck. Okay, so continuing with this day of the story I'm telling y'all. I was talking to some chicks and with some good results or whatever. But a lot of these hoes are just awkward. So it's very stressful. This is why I don't approach hoes. That's why I don't just walk up to bitches trying to talk. Okay. But with Omegle, it's just convenient. Oh, I'm just bored. Okay. It's just so convenient. I don't have to do nothing. But it still is draining because of how hoes act. Then when I finally get to a hoe, of that day, I was like, you about to skip me, ain't you? Because she looked decent. Okay, that's not to say that I haven't been talking to decent chicks, but it's just, you can just suspect that when they at least a 7 or something, they be acting all weird and shit. Okay, but she said, no, I'm not going to skip you. Okay, you're not weird. That's what she was saying. I said, oh, that's cool, because chicks usually be acting funny on here, right? And she was like, yeah, they act so funny. Like, I try to talk to chicks and they'll skip me. They're just very stressful to talk to. Basically, just go into a rant. Basically, similar to the rants that I have in these videos or the rants that you probably have where you peep this shit yourself. Okay, bitches are just stupid. They're an embarrassment. You're basically saying that they make the gender look bad. Okay, and I see what guys be talking about and this, that, and this. I'm like, okay, she seemed cool. Okay. And I say whatever I say, which I forgot. I think I was asking her what has she been seeing on here, and she was like, "Well, I see a lot of weird stuff, but you're cool. Some people be boring, but you're one of the ones with flavor." I'm like, "Oh, okay, this bitch got game. Okay, this bitch here got game. Okay," and she did most of the talking. The most I have done was about 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, now one would think that I am in the green. Okay, because it's like a math equation. You get to one part, and then a math equation basically solves itself when you're doing it right. But this ain't a math equation. This is a whole. Okay. So she was like, "Yeah, you're one of the cool people. You got flavor." Okay. And she was basically telling me what nationality she was, and this was a bitch of the Italian and Caucasian variety. Okay, and then she was telling me she like older men and she usually date minorities. She was like, I don't want one of them bland white boys. Okay, so she's talking mad shit. Now her jive is very similar to mine. It's damn near like I'm hearing myself talk. It's pretty funny, right? Okay, now if you was watching this in the third person, once again, you would say the Negro Ninja finally found a bitch that he can get to know on a serious level, possibly. Okay, so she's talking, and she's talking about past relationships and how people are not really open to criticism. Okay, I said, I didn't know that y'all bitches went through stuff like that. I thought that was shit that niggas went through. Okay, I didn't even know they went through the shit that we went through with talking to hoes on here. No, they just rejected, they'll see you. Okay, then they'll say that the girl is just skip while they talking. I'm like, oh, really? I thought that was just a power struggle between man and bitch. She was like, no. But hoes are just drunken with power, so everybody's going to be a victim to their rejection. Okay. Everybody's going to be a victim to their rejection. The one thing I notice about the reject buttons on any type of app in general is always to the left. Okay. And that's why hoes are so quick to do it. Because you bitches ain't right. Okay. You bitches ain't right. It's almost like it take effort for a hoe to do right. Okay. That's just ironic. So she's just talking to me about how she would criticize people in a relationship in a respectable manner or whatever, because she know how people are and all this stuff, and how you should not really over criticize and etc. So she sounds very intelligent. She was much younger than me. Okay. And she was of age, and for those that are curious, she was legal. Okay. And she seemed cool. Then she started talking about her being a woman of God. Okay, but this is the little detail right here. She was like, yeah, because I'm a woman of God. She kind of like pauses a little bit just to kind of gauge my reaction. And, I can understand because, some people might not really be into that. So when she first said she was a woman of God, I immediately say, perfect. Okay, once again, perfect. All right. And after she said that some people might not be into it, I said, well, if they're not into God, then there's no way it can work. All right. Then she gets into another rant. She was like, yeah, I try to, blend God into every interaction. And I noticed that when I don't hear anyone else doing it, then the relationship's not going to work out. And guess what the bitch did after she said that? She hit skip. Okay. Now we was talking for a damn near an hour. Okay. She was doing most of the talking. Okay, basically, just building herself up to seem so wise and righteous. Okay, then she talking about God. Oh, I'm into that. Okay, and this bitch pretty much is bullshitting me. Okay, because she didn't expect that. Because she know if somebody's into God, they may be able to correct her on the shit she be saying. So she bailed the fuck out. Okay, these hoes are not an equation. These bitches are an equation that just don't add up. Let's look up the definition of the word equation. Okay. Equation. Why the computer want to go slow now? Equation definition. Let's look up the Merriam Dictionary definition. All right. I'm about to pause this. Hold up. All right. I'm looking at the dictionary.com definition of the word equation. All right. So the first definition is the act of equating or making equal. Equalization. The symbolic equation of darkness with death. All right. And that's the perfect explanation to describe a whole in this sense. Because the act of equating, because this bitch is actually acting. Okay, while the equation is actually real. Okay. She's acting like she is equal. Okay, just like narcissists. They're very good at trying to match what they think you are. Or whatever. But she was on that shit to a T. So this bitch could have been a witch for all I know. Alright. These hoes just don't make any sense. Alright. And then I was talking to a bitch last night. Alright. And she started off just by hiding her face. It was like a black screen. You know how you just get bored? Okay. And they just be like, whatever, I'm just finna just talk to whoever. Okay, as long as they ain't doing nothing gay. Okay, so I already knew it was gonna be a bitch anyway, because hoes always hide their faces. Okay, and then she was saying Jesus loves you. I'm like, he love you too, nigga. You're talking, and it just got to the point to where she decides to actually start talking to me on the microphone. Okay, because hoes always try to act like they're just bigger than what they are. And I think that's one of the true reasons why they hide their face. I don't care what nobody says. A shy bitch and a bitch is one and the same. Okay, the bitch is just more upfront. The shy hoe just, okay, just basically saying, I'm too good to show myself. Okay, who are you? You should always be left in wonder. Okay, so they in many ways they're more annoying than a flat out bitch. Okay, then she starts talking, about the Bible or whatever. She said, I've been saved for 7 months. I said, oh, you new to being saved, huh? Okay, and then she seemed cool, so I was asking, I'm like, so are you heterosexual? Because a lot of these hoes be gay. She said, yeah. I said, you 100%? No, I'm 100% straight line, like a pencil line, straight. I said, okay, that's cool. Then we just started talking, and I basically let her know that I do not like gay people. I despise them with every being of my Negro makeup. Okay. And she did not like that. So it goes from her talking to me about Jesus to her trying to convince me to like rainbow zombies. Okay. Because her argument was God is love. Our God is a God of love. Okay, bitch, you don't know what the fuck love is. Okay, you don't know what love is because if you was, and then this what make it ironic. Love a creature that does not have any love within itself. I said, bitch, read Romans. Like we was all over the place. We was arguing for like an hour. It could have been a little bit more than that. And I basically told her, I'm like, I could just tell you to fuck off, but clearly God sent you here for a reason. You need to learn something. Okay, because me talking to you is beneath me. Okay, I just flat out let her know because she was stupid. I literally, like I told her, I said, look, if you was here right here, I would actually hit you with a belt. Like you really is saying some stupid shit. The bitch was stupid. I said, bitch, I'm 34 years old. Okay, you've been doing this shit for 7 months. How the fuck you gonna tell me? And if you read the Bible, if you was really into God, you wouldn't be trying to minister to no damn man. But it was pretty much a headache. But she acting like she just sold Jesus like. But the whole time she's trying to use the Bible against me in the same way that people was accusing Jesus Christ himself before he got crucified. You know how they was saying, yeah, crucify him. And then they even went as far as to let go of a murderer. Somebody was actually trying to protect Jesus. Okay. And I think he was saying something along the lines of, what do y'all think of this murderer? They was like, no, let him go. Take Jesus. Crucify him. I said, I bet you're doing the same thing because you're telling me that my heart is dark. You need to check your heart. There is no love. You hate everybody. I said, I hate the wicked. Okay. I hate you hoes. Well, not 100% because I'm heterosexual. But them rainbow zombies hate y'all for real. And I was basically explaining it to him. Okay. So, your heart is just so dark. I said, you wouldn't even tell a rainbow zombie no shit like that. Like, y'all always trying to tell the righteous man how to act towards evil. Have love. I'm like, you wouldn't go up there and tell him no murderer. You in the same room where nobody can see y'all. You need to stop your murdering ways. Look into yourself and see that God is within you. Tell him that and see if you're not finna meet God as soon as you say that. Okay, and I basically said, you talking this shit to me because you know ain't nothing gonna happen to you. Y'all some cowards. You're a coward. So she keeps going back and forth. Yeah, but God is love. You only focusing on what God hates. I focus on what he loves. I said, no, bitch. You focusing on what you think God loves. Okay, because if you really read the Bible like you say, you will clearly see that he hates anything that he calls an abomination. If he calls something an abomination and you doing it, you're going to hell. But God can save these people. I said, look, little Richard was gay. Okay. And the only reason why I believe he was straight is because of how rainbow zombies actually hated him for being straight. Now, if they didn't hate him, I would be like, this nigga lying. But when I heard Richard's testimony, I'm like, oh, he ain't gay no more. Okay, them gay people despise that dude. Okay, they didn't even say rest in peace for him when he died. Okay, so I was explaining that to her. I'm like, you cannot. I said, look, I read her a scripture that basically says you can't serve two masters because one will hate one and be partial to the other. I forgot exactly how he said it. I said, and that's what it is, and that's exactly what you're doing. But you're trying to act like you is for Jesus. You need to stop playing with Jesus like that. So she's still talking. I'm like, I'm really about to backhand this bitch. Okay. It's just amazing how hoes go balls to the wall for the wicked. Now, I grew up around bitches. Okay. So this is nothing new to me. Like, literally, every female is going to justify wicked behavior. I said, bitch, you the type of bitch that will get with a nigga that ain't about shit and think you can save him and end up having babies with him because you're a dumb bitch. You don't know me. You don't know me. I'm like, yes, the fuck I do. I know you better than you hoes know yourself. And that's why you hoes be watching Negroes talk shit in these videos. Okay, so it's pretty stressful. It's a pretty stressful morning. Okay, women are just stressful, but you know, I figure whatever. This is just good ammo. Good ammo. It's just funny to see how balls to the walls hoes would go to defend wickedness. And I basically told her, I said, you ain't no different. I said, you. And the funny thing is, a few days ago, I was talking to an atheist man that was not difficult to talk to. That was a cool dude. Okay, cool dude, but he wasn't. He didn't seem demon possessed like how she is. Like she acting on. Yeah, but God is love. I said, you think that what you're saying is good because you saying it like a hippie from the 70s. You just love everybody. Oh my gosh. Oh, love. And it's very narcissistic. Okay, stop pleasuring yourself in front of me. I don't appreciate this. Okay. And nobody wants a hoe to pleasure themselves in front of them. You can't participate in it. So what's the point? You know, it's the same concept. Bitch, stop touching yourself down. You judging niggas on here for being they meat. You ain't finna be doing that shit in front of me with spiritually or metaphorically. Hoes are false prophets. Okay. Hoes are false prophets. Okay, they always, you know, just due to the fact that they're walking lines to begin with. Okay, shows that they're false prophets. I'm not that type of whore. As soon as you close the door, bitch ain't even using her hands. All right, the fact that hoes can be after the same thing and still bullshit you is proof. And I might have to do another video talking about that shit. That shit pissed me off. It's just stupid. But like I said, I basically told this chick, I'm like, I could just, you know, I can just end this at any moment. You're just stupid. But I just talk anyway. Okay. And she actually was like being solid. Trying to say it all sexy and stuff. You know, talking like, saying stuff like that. So she was listening, but she just wasn't listening and talking about some, well, God can save anybody. I'm like, if he decides to, bitch, if that's the case, if God wanted everybody to be saved, then nobody would be going to hell. Then I gave this bitch a good example. I said, bitch, what if you was a manager? This is what you're doing. What if you was a manager and somebody was saying, this person is harassing me? And what would you say? Well, I would tell him to get away from that person. I said, so what if he does and that person go over there to do it again? You know, I just, you know, let people do what they do. I said, what the fuck type of manager are you? She just couldn't comprehend it. You know, not everybody's going to get along. I said, but you're the fucking manager. You have to do something about this. You can't just allow people to do this. And like I said, it's not easy to get through the hoes because the hoes are evil. Okay, you're just not going to do it. And then she flat out told me that talking to me was like talking to a brick wall with no emotions. I'm like, stop projecting yourself onto me. Okay, all because I don't like wickedness and things that are of the world. And like I said, there's nothing worse than a hoe that is into Jesus. Okay, now once again, listen carefully to what I said. There's nothing worse than a hoe, which is what she is, that's into Jesus. You want a woman that is into Jesus, because she'll be right there with you. Once again, about a day before this, or 2 days ago, I was talking to an atheist on Omegle, cool dude. And we got along perfectly fine, which is very rare because I'm usually arguing with people 24/7 because I'm a genius, you know, in comparison to them. But and I'm just keeping it real because these people, you know, a lot of people be stupid as hell. You can't even have a simple conversation about a comic book. That's how dumb they be. So he was a cool dude, and we got along perfectly fine. Okay, I didn't even know he was an atheist till he told me. All right, so Her, on the other hand, I said, damn, talking to you is like talking to an atheist. I said, if you didn't tell, if you came up to me, you weren't talking about Jesus, I would have just automatically just grouped you in as an atheist, which you technically are. Okay. But then I had to put this into her terms about the work example. I said, so if you was being harassed at work and your boss didn't do nothing, what would you think? Then I went back to the other example. I'm like, so if there's nothing that can stop this dude from harassing him, what would you do? Well, I guess I'll have to fire him. I'm like, oh, you're such a stupid bitch. I said, see, you wouldn't allow that, because if you don't do nothing, that means you is in line with wickedness being in the workplace, so you just as evil. Well, didn't God allow Satan to harass Job, to test him? I said, how the fuck was God testing Job when God knows what the fuck Job is all about? Okay, why you think God told Job to get the heck up? Get up, Job. And told him to put on his loins or something. Girdle your loins or something. Okay, and he basically just broke it down to him. He was like, look, I know what the heck I am doing. Were you there when I created this? Basically just putting him in place. Are you me? Do you know why the world is the way it is? Okay, then. Shut up, nigga. Okay. And Job was going through the worst stuff. Okay. And he still had faith, but he was kind of sort of, losing it. So God stepped in. I mean, he wasn't really losing it. He still did a good job, but God didn't like what he was saying. And he checked him on it. But it was the people around Job that was saying the dumbest stuff. They weren't even going through anything at all. All right. And the reason why I had to make sure I told that story is because she's no different than these bitches that you see and complain about. Just a lot of dudes might not necessarily be inclined to even ask questions, because a lot of dudes don't even believe in God anyway, so they probably won't even think to even talk to him like that. But that's how all chicks are. You can't, it basically was her just spending the whole time trying to convince me to not hate gays. Okay, and she told me, so you think that I'm like that? I said, you are. I don't care what you say. You defending them. You are what you defend. Like I said, talking to hoes is worse than talking to gays. Okay, because you think you're talking to a hoe when you're really talking to a gay. It's just like the equivalent of talking to a dude. You would not find yourself engaging with them motherfuckers. You will get the fuck away from them. So just imagine one of them motherfuckers coming to you looking like Mystique from X-Men. They can look like anybody. And then you talking like, yeah, I like women. You like women? I just want some pussy. You want some? That's all you men think about? Don't it sound like that? That's what hoes sound like. Okay, I would go as far as to say, if we can talk to bitches with our eyes closed, okay, and if we hear one of those Reddit voices to where it doesn't sound like a man or woman, to where it was left up to our interpretation, and they say, so what, who do you think I am between this? You're going to say you think you're a rainbow zombie. You one of them little sissies downtown or something. That's what you're going to think. Because all hoes are demons and bitches clothing. And that's all I got to say for this rant. And this has been the Negro Ninja, bringing you your Negro message for today. Negro out.